as a Warren Youth Month, but this is also Sports Month. And this month, including youth ministry, sports department, wanted to have a conversation with people in our church who are athletes, who love Jesus, who are excelling in sports. I want to find out how Jesus has impacted them in their lives, but also use them in their different sporting disciplines for the honor and glory of God. And it's my pleasure to get the ball rolling, starting with none other than Danielle Titus. Now, today is Danielle's birthday, so she saw it so fitting that she would take this hour of her birthday to come and chat with us, share her testimony, and that's what God is doing in her through swimming. So, Danielle, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Also, happy birthday. 21 is a big year. So I pray that God will bless you. It'll be an awesome birthday and an awesome year for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, Danielle, let's get the ball rolling. Who is Danielle Titus?
That one is probably one of the hardest questions because I feel like I'm still trying to figure out who Danielle Titus is. Other than being a swimmer, because I feel like I have associated my who I am around sports. So I feel like now I'm trying to see like other aspects of Danielle that I need to discover. So I think for right now, she is a competitive, determined, and very a little reserved person. Athlete, student. So yeah, that one is a work in progress.
That's a good answer because some people don't always know. So it's good to hear somebody say no, they're still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But as life go on, and then you're 21, so you learn as time goes on. Now I know that you're big on family. I know before we were talking, your mom came to the door, one of everything for it. You know, like what is life in the Titus household? Like, you know, how do you can obviously tell your parents are close and Tiffany as well. So how was your childhood? How did you grow up? How was life in Titus household?
Definitely never was a dull moment. I would say we all have our own very unique personalities. And it was always a vibe, you know. Like I feel like a lot of my peers and stuff would be like surprised if I would go with my parents to movies, we would go play games sometimes. It was always fun. I was the youngest, so like you always get picked on a lot. But like Tiffany, of course, and my sister.
We'll pray for her, don't worry.
Yes, definitely. But honestly, it was always fun. Like looking back, I realized how much it has like shaped me to be who I am. Like going overseas and like seeing other people and their families, like I realized how special mine is, and I definitely would not trade any of them for the world. So that's for sure.
I get you. I remember when I was overseas, you know, like the wish of my parents is only when I realized, okay, all right, well, I really like not like how other families are. You know, my mom would call me every night, my dad would call me every morning. And I was like, he was like, you talking to your parents? I was like, yeah, it's not normal. It's like, no.
No, it's not for them. And the thing is, like, I would go on a phone call, and sometimes I end up on the phone for like 2 hours with parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I think it's they got things to do. But like sometimes you just get so carried away because like, you know, it's normal for us and for me to be here. Like we're there when we keep talking about anything, everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Father just talking a lot of foolishness, as you would already, of course, know. And
no,
stuff.
of course.
So it was always, you know, one of those things that I really had to hold on to and treasure even over there. So
I always knew you guys were close, but I think when Tiffany got married, and like to see like your speech, and it made me realize, okay, like it's wanting to be sister, but you guys are literally like best friends.
Exactly.
You know, and that's like an added bonus. So it made me realize I knew of you guys, and you guys were close knit, but to hear your speech and to see how you were smiling for the entire day, just because your sister, it was a big day for her, but like you enjoyed the moment for her,
Yeah.
And I think she enjoys the moments for you, because when it turned to Andrew and Neil, like everything talk to them about you, is like they'll light up. So it makes you realize that that's a genuine connection.
Yeah.
So that's excellent for you to have that connection with your parents, and your family in general. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that was a good household to be in. The next question is obviously you grew up in church, Neil, Andrew, I think. Like, yes, what led you to accepting Jesus? Because there's one thing, we've been in church for a long time.
Yeah.
It's one thing for you to be in church, but another to make that commitment. So what led you to make that commitment?
But as you said, definitely, like, of course, like, you're in church. But I feel like it's not the same when you feel as though, like, you're being forced to go to church. Like, you have a choice. Like, Sunday morning, I don't have a choice. I don't care, like, what time you get home, you waking up in the morning.
Okay, to go to church. Yeah.
That was just it. And I feel like, for me, it became, like, one of those things where I just used to, like, go through emotions for a while. And then, I'm trying to remember what was the exact instance. But I think it was like a serious situation, and I think it was related to my dad, and I prayed about it, and I was like, well, like, if you are all of this, that my parents made, everybody would to be like, you're gonna show me this, you're gonna open that door for that, and he showed me in a dream of probably like a few weeks or so before it happened. And like when I saw it, I didn't really think anything about it,
Yeah.
And when it happened, I just, like, when my mom told me, I just completely, like, I just started to cry. And I was like, I didn't even know why I was crying. Yeah. But it was just like one of those moments where you realize, like, this is way bigger, he's way bigger than you. I really anticipated. So I think for me in that moment, it was one of those like the pastor said this morning, like spiritual encounters where it was like I saw him up for myself, not for anybody else, and it was definitely one of those eye openers for me. So I would say it's my.
It's funny you say that, because obviously I work in church too, and it's like you said you go through emotions, because you have to be there. I guess your parents hope that something will click somewhere. So it's like when it does, is like you got two choices. Either you're gonna stay the same, or like just continue or change. And some is that your experience. Till that happen, you can't stay the same. You know that God is real. Then your parents is like, yes, so the God is right. So finally, as you say, they have to come to church. But I guess like it's a good habit, because then you get to realize, okay, this is part of who I am, and then it clicks. Yeah. Because I got deeper meaning. So that's cool, to be honest. I'm really glad you had that experience. That's the honest truth. Then I know that you are big on your swimming is part of who you are.
Yeah.
Like that's who people associate Daniel Titus with. But I say you're still trying to figure it out as time goes on. But what led you? What's your love for swimming? Where did it come from?
Well, I started out because of Tiffany. She found her love for swimming at a camp that my parents had sent her to. And of course, she was excited. She said she wanted to go swimming. So they were like, of course, like, we're going to put you in swimming. But of course, it was just happened to be convenient. They were like, well, we're not driving all over the place. So, Danielle, you really got no choice. But you are going along with your sister as well. And at first, it was just one of those things that, like, I just did it because, like, you're young, you're just having fun, you're making friends and stuff like that. And then, I don't even know, it was a moment that I just decided that I wanted to keep going and stuff. But I was always competitive, like, even like this, just like brushing, like, see who could finish getting ready fastest, or like who get through it fastest. And even just see melting, I used to live for it, And I think like because at first I wasn't really that good. Tiffany was she was 7, and I was just like there, and I told myself, like, Tiffany can't be better than me. So then I just decided that, something had to change. Like, I had to work hard and I had to make sure that I was benefiting every single stroll. I had to be per times. And then I actually started to enjoy even more, like when they had like a lot of my friends were there and we were all like we all used to go to school together, and then we used to we used to get drops together to go to swimming, and it was one of those, it became really fun, and like I used to love to compete, I used to love to make new friends, and I just like developed this huge love for swimming. The thing is, it was one of those, like it was like a love-hate relationship, because I would go and I would die at practice, and then like I miss a day and I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know how to, count the stairs. Like it just I'm so like lost when I'm swimming. So I feel like that is when I just started discovering like, oh, like, I really like can't do it. It's sport, So yeah.
So is it somebody pool that is like a safe space, like a calm down? Like if you stress, you go and swim. If you do, where you gonna swim?
Yes, I would say that. Well, no, sometimes I find myself trickling my school, like all my thoughts in the water. Like, oh my gosh, what I done? I got this, I got that, I got that. Yeah. But before, it was one of those things, it's just like kind of like just to shut off everything, after school, just to go swim, and it was just that was my time to just be Danielle,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was like my space for me.
Yeah, I understand. But because for me, that's how cricket is for me. Like that's safe space. And I'm not as like big to go back to me, but I get like it's a place to get away. It becomes a place where you just like be yourself, or like if you're stressed out, if you anxious, you just go and like for a few hours or time is like this is where everything is. So I get you. Yeah, I get you. But the thing about it is, some people say, well, Daniel likes swimming, so I mean she go to the beach. I was like, it's just not true. It's not true.
I hate the beach. Because I feel like when you're doing something all the time, when you're a day off, you don't go back and do it again, Like that's like you work all 3 weeks and then you're suddenly like, oh my gosh, I want to go back and work. Like nobody don't do that. Everybody say, oh my gosh, like Sunday's my off day, like excited. Go on, relax. So I feel like in beach, I don't know what to do with myself. Like I don't know if I should go swim some laps. Like I don't know what exactly to do. So I tend to, keep myself from the beach unless I'm going like just Tiffany make me go, or my friends want to go to the beach, but
it's like nah, that for me.
That's just it for me,
But you make it a good point, because people not necessarily connected. People like, oh well,
that's
true. But for you, it's something different.
Yeah.
I remember I assumed that. I was like, you at the beach? She's like, no. I remember I was telling Sunday, it was like 10 minutes. She was like, you doing at the beach? She's like, no, Ezra. And you explain it to me. It made sense.
Yeah, exactly. It made sense when you think about it. Like you don't go back and do something that you've been doing for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So sorry that. So that what you say? What are some of your earliest and fondest memories of like you in the pool when you're swimming? Like to increase your love for the sport.
My fondest memory. I feel like probably the one that comes straight in my mind when I think about that is it wasn't my first career, but my second. my second birthday was in Martinique, and I think it was probably my product run because I did really well. But honestly, like I just think like going to Carifta in itself was just a whole different experience, and I really love the environment, like all the teams there, everybody like competing to each other, like even though we competing against each other, like it's just like a whole different experience, and I just really like I met a lot of people, like I grew up with a lot of people, you know, and even though like seeing these same people from Brooklyn like years later, it's like you know, it's like oh my gosh, like we basically grew up together. So I would say like career studies have to be like fondest memories because those are I can remember those for everything that happened, like the times I swam at these meets, like who was that? I can remember everything. Everything. It was fun. Also, mom used to go with me, so you know I used to annoy her, and it was nice to have her there too. So
I think the annoying part, you know, she's there
yes, I just can't have her there, and you know, be nice to her.
So I am sure that she would take your annoyance any day. I'm pretty much sure of that.
Oh yeah.
So you said Carifta Games, but like we know that you break so many records, national records, all these records. You know what? People know that it costs for hard work, but give people a little more insight into just how much hard work it really is. You know, for you to not only prepare, not break records, but to win, compete. You know, like tell people a little more of the hard work goes in to being a champion and being a record holder in so many things.
Sports in general, it takes so much sacrifice. Like I know I remember it just takes me back to all the times that I couldn't go certain places because I had to swim, or I wasn't able to celebrate this because I was overseas, or I wasn't able to be here for this because I was swimming. And it was honestly, it was a lot because swimming was one of those sports that it takes up a lot of your time, you know, like swim morning, evening, pretty much basically the whole week. So it was like swimming, school, swimming, school, swimming, same thing over and over again. And it just used to be weird you out, you know. And I also used to work out to help like stamina and stuff because I can't swim, you know. Like anybody can just go and swim, but you gotta really extra, you gotta do other things other than the sport, you know. And like looking back, like it was, I mean, it still is like hard, but it was definitely harder back then because I wanted to do so much more things, you know, and a lot of places and do everything that everybody else was doing. And I didn't want to know why I can't do everything else that people doing. And again, I'm frustrated with my parents. Like, we kind of here, like, why can't I just not swim?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like, you know, this is your dream. Like, you love to swim. Like, this is what you want to do. In order to be the best, you gotta work, you know.
Yeah.
And they said like, you know, people come and go, but this right here is gonna be there forever, you know. And in the moment, of course, I was not very understanding. So it's easy to talk no and be like, I get it, but back then I really didn't. There's a lot of times where I definitely wanted to stop the sport because I felt like I wasn't able to be a child. I wasn't able to like fully do things that other children was doing. So I would say these sacrifice that I had to make to. I mean, it was worth it, you know. Like when all those times, being able to get a scholarship from it, like it was worth it. It made my parents' life a whole lot easier, you know. It makes me feel good that it kept going and then like, you know, leave them and join and to try to find like a good school for me and I'll pay the whole way and everything's so expensive. And, you know, I feel like I helped out a little bit with that. Like, you know, sticking to it. And I also, you know, I don't think that I would be the same person today if I did stop. So yeah.
because I was actually going to ask you if there was ever a time where, because I usually describing all these sacrifices you made, and where you want to go, you couldn't go because that you had swimming, you had these things. I was going to ask you a time you felt like giving up, because it took away so much.
So many times. A lot of times they told my parents I was quit swimming. It's ridiculous. And next day, same morning, oh, you going swimming? Yep, going swimming.
Yeah.
It was like then I said, it was one of those like love-hate relationships. Like I wanted to be so bad, and like no, like I'm not going to stop. Like I don't need to do this no more. Then I just used to be saying it because I know I never will stop. Like it's just one of those that you see, I'm never gonna work. I hate to work, but you still gonna go because you need to provide. I need this, and something people they love what they do. So I feel as though the amount of times, even though sometimes it's so hard to keep going, to finding motivation to keep going, when sometimes you don't see the all the work that you put in. You don't see it.
Yeah.
You don't, and then you feel like it's so pointless to keep going.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely had a lot of times where it was like, nah, swimming for me.
And I guess you said that's where you and your parents are so close because they will push you. And sometimes your parents, when you don't feel doing something or if you don't, your parents have a way of picking you up on the way like they could, and they will not let you give up on your dream. That's one thing like good parents don't won't let you try to get on your dream. So like they're like, no, I know you feel down now, but we ain't giving up. And then I guess when you see everything happen, like Carifta, like you break record and thing, and then like your parents happy and you happy and Tiffany happy is like it made sense, but sometimes you didn't want to do it. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but they definitely were very helpful with that, and they would keep asking, like if this is still a dream, if it's not a dream anymore, we are all for it. But if this is still what you want to do, then we're gonna keep going. And they were always like that. Thing in my head telling me, "Gotta keep going at it. Like, this is what you want to do. You gotta keep going. Gotta put work. Do all this." So they were key for helping me keep going.
That's a very good story. I mean, like that shows like just how much they love you. I want the best.
Yeah.
Want the best for you. And sometimes will ask them how Daniel they were going on, but like you can tell that you every step of the way.
Yeah.
So that's great support. Fantastic support to have. So then who are some of the coaches then that impact you over the years?
I've had a bunch of coaches, honestly, because for swimming, like as I would move up, I would get a different coach. So instead every coach that I was under, probably I would say had an influence in where I am today. From my learn to swim coach, Michael. I think he actually went to church with us. He used to play in the band. He's my nursing coach. Then there was Axel, and then there was like Antonio Petrolanda. There was Damian for the swimming aspect, and then for like working out, I used to go to a guy called Andrew. Now, even though I still go to Janelle Chase Mears for CrossFit, and I would say all of those people played a huge role where I am today because, they definitely worked me hard, definitely. Even though I still get wet heart, but and honestly, the impact has made is crazy. It's one of those things that I know like what exactly was key in helping me get to where I am. And I know every single one had a role to play in that. So I am definitely extremely thankful for that.
That's good. That's good that you got people that that push you. I guess they see things in you even before you see it in yourself. And even though you get frustrated at them and you just want to give up, you can't give up because your parents are there, but also your coaches. And they can put. You said somebody push you till you die at swimming. Like you felt you were dying. But
definitely had some close calls for sure. But definitely near, definitely near death experiences for sure. It was all worth it. It was all worth it.
So, how did you feel like you representing Barbados? You know, what honor is that to you? Like, you know, like how you say like represent my country, not only like my swim meet or my family, but no my country. How is that take a deeper meaning for you?
Um, I'm honestly not too sure. Like seeing, like going on for like certain games and representing Barbados and just like winning a medal and like hearing anthem. Because when you go there to swim, like sometimes you like your head is just like, oh, like I just want to swim and just want to have fun.
Yeah.
In that moment when everything's silent, when you stand up on the podium and you got a medal or you just sit listening to your anthem, it's like,
It's like different.
It's a whole different thing. Like you're like this is for my country. Like this is a medal for Barbados. It's not a medal for dying. I got my name on it. It also has my country, and I think for me, like even sometimes I think I take it for granted.
Yeah.
I'm able to like represent my country. Sometimes I get so caught up in myself. I'm like, oh, like I did participate. I didn't do what I wanted to do, so I'm upset. But somebody like, well, you just represent your country at such a high level, and you upset because you were doing a good thing, you know. So it's one of those that I have to learn. I think to appreciate much more because I think it's mom will always make sure that I remember that it's an honor, to represent your country and these meets and I think that I'm kind of starting to get how much of an impact it is for like not probably like giving hope to like other people to know that like, like it's a whole different experience to represent your country. It's not just about you, it's about other people that probably a part of the sport that looking up to you and stuff. So I would say it definitely makes it look I think a little bit differently.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because there's one thing to represent like school or club, but I think with your country, it's like they say it takes a new responsibility. And I like you were honest. Sometimes you don't connect sometimes because you're so interested in doing well, but sometimes maybe need those reminders, that we represented something bigger than us.
Yeah.
So that's. But I mean, is how did you then like you said you had the career to all these things, but the Olympics? Because first of all, when your mom told me you're going to the Olympics, your mom was like, "Because we in sports ministry together." Your mom, Andrew, could not stop talking. I mean, she was so happy with you, and she's walking through the preparation for it. What will be done, everything. How did you feel going to the Olympics? Like, I mean, we hear about Olympics, we see it, but like you experience it and you got to swim. How was that? How was that entire experience for you?
It was very interesting. I would say like when I went to I was just like my head was maybe just thinking it was like one of those, other higher meets that I've been to already. So just go in, swim, go. As it I feel like when I got to the Olympic Village, and because of course it's not only like swimming, all sports and people like Shelly Fraser Price and like Kevin Durant. I see all these people there. And you're like, this is a big thing, Then it dawns on you like how big of a field it really is, and it becomes like a little bit. Like, even though I've been at meets like that before, it's like this is big leagues though, This is everybody's gonna watch. Everybody's gonna watch Olympic. Everybody turn on TV to watch Olympic. People don't know nothing about swimming. People watching swimming, and it was definitely a bit nerve wracking at first. Just walking around the village, seeing everybody, seeing all the teams, seeing all these big name people. I would say it was definitely like one of those very scary experiences because then you realize then you wait on it's just like, oh my gosh, like, I've ever said about this. Oh my gosh, I'm so good. Like, I have to do this. And then I start like getting in my head and
yeah,
it was definitely one of those one of the experiences like jaw dropping where you're like this is the only things. Like what you used to watch as a child, like you competing with
You
this.
come now, you competing, yeah.
Now you're
Yeah.
competing. Now you're sort of get to see people that you used to see before, and it's like it's a whole different ball game. So I think that was definitely one of those wake up moments. I was like, okay, this is a whole nother level that we at now. So it was definitely something to remember and to learn from. Yeah.
How big was it having your mom with you there?
Mom
Yeah,
was a
for her experience. To
mom
experience that too.
was me.
Oh,
So she went to world championships with
World
me.
Championship, yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, World
I
Championship.
mean it's honestly nice to have her because she went to Commonwealth with me. And it's honestly nice to have her there because like yes, like it's because it's sad that they're not gonna always be able to watch me swim.
Mm-hmm.
Places are very far and it's very expensive to come and watch, and just like have her there with me, like after like I had a bad race or
Mm-hmm.
this, I got my mom. Like, even though she's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like she's my mom. So it was honestly nice to have her there try to, calm me down or like give me encouragement. Just to just be there in her room, even
Mm-hmm.
if she's not in there,
Yeah.
like just to have her there is just honestly been super helpful.
So experiencing Olympics, World Championship, is it added motivation to go back again? Like everyone experiences again.
Yeah, it honestly the first time around it was one of those like it was actually a bit the opposite. It was a little bit demotivating because then you realize like, yeah, you may be fast, but you'll have
Yeah.
all of these people who are even faster, and at first it's like, wow, like I don't think they'll be able to like actually be able to compete at this level. And it's
Mm-hmm.
one of those moments where you think that it's best if you just short it all, but like as I kept going, it's one of those things like, you know what, I want that to be me. I want to be the one who in that final and win that medal and only like, it became one of those that was like you kind of get sick of it being you all the time, like maybe
Yeah,
it's time
yeah.
to be in that position. So I would say it became definitely one of those motivated factors where I told myself that something's got to change. So yeah.
And we believe that you be that person that people will say, all right, this is a person won't be late. No. So you say you were looking, no people said you're the top person.
Exactly.
And now the hard work you put in because you're a hardworking person, so and you're a child of God. So I know that there's nothing that you can't do with the help of God. But that's just what we want coming to know because how important is God's important in your life, but in terms of swimming and navigating life and that kind of thing, how important is your Christianity in all this?
Definitely is at the center because swimming, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today because, like, I don't even know if I can explain it. There's been so many instances where I have done the race and been completely crushed by how I did,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
like if I've had this dream and this is where I want to be, there's no way that I should be. I put in all this work and this is what happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's helpful to have everybody there trying to tell you, it's gonna be okay, shake it
Mm-hmm.
off, got it. Like, don't matter, it's just one race.
Yeah.
But for you is it's so much more than just one race.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes where you just start to doubt your abilities and doubt everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I only got one person that could be able to help you turn it around.
Yeah.
And I would say that he's of course been that person for me. And sometimes I find myself getting in a position where I would pray before my race. I always pray before my race. I pray before my race. Then I swim great. And then I don't have the time to be like, you know what, thank you for doing that for me because I know I would have done it without you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I do bad in a race, I'm like, where were you when I did that race?
Yeah.
You know? And I feel myself being only using me like a genie, you know? Like, oh, like I need your help for this, help me do that. After that happens, I help me out, appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
And then when you go bad, like, why you let it happen? So I had to take a step back and realize that even through my failures and my disappointments, that he's the only one that I should be looking to. He's the only one that I should be praising in that moment, you know, because I could not do anything that I've accomplished for him. Any medal I have, any trophy that I have, I can tell you it was if it wasn't for him, but we won't be speaking right now. That is for sure. So I would say that I'm still learning, you know, I'm still learning to try to keep him at the center of my sport because I'm at a place where it has come to a point where I can't rely on my abilities to get me to where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I've realized that ain't no way I get no medal at Olympics if he not the one in the center of my training and my nutrition and my everything, you know. And I think that people need to understand that he's not just there in good, you know. He's definitely bad, and I'm learning to praise despite any outcome that may happen. If I win, praise. If I lose, praise. You know, so it's hard. That one is definitely hard because sometimes it's like you should have been there for me. You should have done that for me. But as you mentioned this morning, you don't owe me anything.
That's true.
I'm not entitled to anything. He never said, well, if you train hard, I mean, every time you would do this, you will get a best time. You will do this. I never seen the Bible that he promised that. So I'm figuring out how to not rely on Dial because Dial is not all powerful. Dial's not all knowing. Dial does not know. Dial does not have the power to get Dial to the Olympics to get a medal. So that's where my Jesus comes in. So I think that is definitely been something that I'm working on and has to be there for me to continue to do what I want to do, for sure.
And that's I respect honesty because you know sometimes we like to praise God when we want to talk, you know, we get that achievement. Not all is good, but then it's like you said, as you said, as you're right, you said it that when things we get a little low, we really ask God, why this? We don't ask God why when we get in trouble. You know, it's like no, but I'm glad and it shows maturity and growth. And then it goes to show, as we talked about earlier, the experience you have with God now has shaped you to understand, all right, God is good when you do good. When we get the goal, God's also good when you don't medal. I don't take away who God is. You know, God is good all the time. And you just gotta understand that. So it makes you realize, not even our conversation, that experience you have with God. Because if you don't have the experience, if you just go through emotions, and you're like, all right, well, God, this all's happening. All right, tell me why. I shouldn't serve you. But because the experience you have with Him, then you know see a different outlook in life. So you can't go around there, Danny. That's the honest truth. That's a brilliant outlook. As you said, as Dr. Hofer said, we're not entitled to anything. You know, you said no, but God said, anybody that serve me is entitled to have every good day. Exactly. No bad days.
Exactly. So
that's a brilliant outlook to look at it. To be honest with you, I mean, 21, you got that look already, so I know that will grow as time goes on. So, like, my next question to you is: obviously, like you were a Christian all your life and you studied and you like went swimming, but now you're overseas studying. You know, I'm pursuing higher education, but also swimming. You know, how is leaving home? You know, is you go on different games and come back. You come back home, but now how is living overseas? How are you navigating that swimming Christianity, like even in 21 now, you when you overseas now, you're basically trying to adult, like it's just trying to navigate everything. How's that going for you?
Definitely going better than when I started because my parents would tell you when they first told me that I was leaving, I was 100% in denial. I was like, I'm not going nowhere. So I can really ask me, y'all can go pack your bags, but I refuse to go anywhere. And I remember because Dad told me up the first time, and like I was like, in my head, I didn't think that this was gonna be like a long. I was gonna be out here long, but I was still thinking, well, I'm gonna be back in 2 seconds. I understand.
Yeah.
And then I remember when Dad dropped me off, and he was like, yeah, like he moved me in, and he's like, all right, like I gotta go back to his hotel. I got a flight in the morning, and I was like, yeah, you leaving me? I started to bawl. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to get home? Like, I was so lost. I was like, because I know I don't know nobody. My parents leaving me, they abandoning me, leaving me by myself. I was like, how can they do this to me? But honestly, like, it definitely is much better because given I got swim like a lot of time home, longest I stayed home is 2 weeks, And at first I was like, this is ridiculous. How am I supposed to spend time with my family for 2 weeks and then back up? And I was like, I can't do this. Like I can't live like this. I can't keep doing this. And then it became to a point where I had to kind of say, like we understand, but
yeah,
this is what you gotta do. And then I came to a point where I would be like, you know what, I would get in my head that this is what time I got, so I gotta make sure that I spend as much time with them as possible and spend as much time with my friends as possible. And then it became a point where I was like, you know what, 2 weeks is pretty long, like you got 2 weeks, a whole 2 weeks in my family. Like I just take them where you get them and go with it. So I would say definitely at first it was very rough for me being over there by myself, not having my mommy or my daddy. When I sick, I gotta take care of myself. Like we would have an athletic trainer, but it's not easy. Like having my mommy rub me up. It was just like a whole different ball game, and even relationship with school, because having both of them at once, it was a bit different, of course, because this is university. This is not in secondary school where school working as hard, but so it was just a whole other ball game. But I definitely so used to it now. Like just like it's an hour of a day again. Gotta swim, gotta do gym, gotta do this. So it's like definitely much easier now. Of course, I still miss my family, but I saw a cousin just coming home for a little bit, dipping out, coming back, So it's honestly not as bad anymore.
That's for sure. When I first time I went to Bible school, I was in Purity now. And then we got there, and my parents would help me settle in and thing. I was like, yeah, this here. And I was like, you gotta go back. And like when they drove off, it hit me. I was like, seeing how you felt, I was like, love my parents abandoned me. Like, what kind of parents they are? Obviously, we got great parents. But, in that moment, they were like, what am I gonna do? And I it's winter. I was like, my parents really live out here. I am from Barbados. So it hit, like you said, you're in denial, but as time goes on, you understand like it's your purpose and your calling. You understand, okay, it's for seasons. Yeah. It don't last forever. But I understand you perfectly. I was in denial too. So I can't
even. You're like, wow, this is crazy. God, how my parents could do this to me?
Yeah, you start questioning God. What kind of God you are that you leave my parents? Yeah, I get you. But like you say, it gets easier as time goes on. And
yes.
And there's still technology, so that you can always call them.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that makes it easier.
Makes it a whole lot better for sure. A whole lot better.
Because if not, then for sure Imagine go write letters and waiting letters
I
come.
would be in Potter. I definitely would come at home. I could just see it. I definitely would come at home. For sure.
But I'm glad you're settling. But and then obviously in sports, the thing is majority of sports people are not necessarily Christians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are you able to show your faith to those, and still have the standards, because it's easy then to get distracted and that kind of. How do you maintain your faith but also like representative of Jesus Christ saying, no, all right, this is what you guys want to do, but this is not who I am. I can go.
Honestly, it was very tough at first because I knew, and
yeah,
I felt like I had to, like, people going places. I felt like I had to go too.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, and it was pretty rough for me at first, like, and then it came a point where I was just like, you know what, I found a person who was like, you don't need to go. It's not necessary for you need to go. And then I started like, drawing back from people, and people start assuming that because you don't like them or like certain things. I just
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not my scene. That's not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I one of the she was a senior at the time. She started taking me to there's like this athletes in action. So they would have like sessions at church for really athletes, and they would like share testimonies, they would read the Bible and stuff like that. So I started to become a part of that at Tulane to help, kind of keep me grounded, because it's only when I left that I realized how important church was. Even though I just used to like not having it, it was very had me like very all over the place.
Okay, yeah.
Quickly, like having like that, it was good. But then when she left, it was kind of one of those things where like, I was like, oh, like I don't know what to do. Like I didn't have the transition to be able to go there, and there was points where I hadn't been to just so long, and it was like one of those. I just felt so like far, and it was definitely it wasn't a good feeling. But then I would come back, and like every time I would come back, it would be kind of like a reset for me. It was like, okay, okay, I can stick with it and stuff like that. And when I changed schools, I made sure that I was a part of, because now I'm able to, I guess do more, because back I was very like, to myself. I didn't want to be a part. I didn't want to ask anybody to, drop me to church and do this and stuff like that. So now when I transferred schools, I made sure to join their athletes action and in touch with the lady, and have sessions with her, and like make sure that I got that aspect of my faith down pat. Like then I could, go swimming and school and everything else later. But for me, like that was very important, because I didn't want to go and be in the same position that I was in before, because it wasn't. It was not the best at all. So I made sure that I had that covered, so that I won't be in a position where I'm not able to see the work. Because yes, it's fine doing it on your own, but like sometimes you just need to be a part of a community that everybody moving the same direction. Everybody got is athletes who go through the same struggles and who feeling the same way. So I need to be a part of that. So yeah, that's one way that I try to keep myself grounded over there. I need to.
Yeah, I remember your thing is Andrea. That season was new first, then Andrea. But yeah, because time you were changing schools.
Yeah.
And everything came about. But then here you talk, sometimes, when a change is not always a bad thing. And like something God has a way of changing your steps in a way that you can always see it. But then when you in it, then when it's changed, you're like, okay, God, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it now. So that's good. How have you found you changed school? How have you found that environment to be fun? Is more conducive to you as
definitely. Even the girls on the team, they're very like-minded in their goals for swimming too. So even if they may not be Christians, like their whole mindset is different than where I was before. So that aspect of it has also been very eye-opening, very helpful to me so far. So I think it was necessary for me to change. I things were put in place that I kind of had no choice. You know, it was one of those like places you in a comfortable position and like making you so uncomfortable, but you have nothing to do but to remove yourself, you know. And at the moment, it's like, why would I would be a senior? Why would I leave one? You know, when I got one more year left, why just not stick it out? But I was put in such a position where it was like, no, you cannot stay here. You cannot. If you want to achieve certain goals, you have to move. So it was one of those situations.
Think about God. God is so unique. God will use your love for something to help you to like change, you know. And he will use like, if you swimming, he was like, yeah, you want to achieve goals, and God was like, I love you. I want to achieve your goals too, you know. So I can remove you from this situation. As you said, is got not much long left, you know. That's not why you don't stay there, but God's not like, I love you enough to let you see you achieve your goal. So what you can do, I can move in this situation. It's gonna be okay, no panic. And put in a bad situation. But in it you panicking because like God makes no sense. You know, but that's where trust and faith and hope in God comes in. You know, you definitely have that, you know. But I want to, as we bring it to a close, like we only associate you with swimming, but from tomorrow we get to see another side of you in VBS. You know, and I remember when like Tiffany was talking to me, and Tiffany was like, all right, well, here's the VBS team and singing like Daniel Titus. I was like, Tiffany, Daniel gonna be here? She's like, don't worry, Pastor, we got a plan. I was like, but this is making sense. So I knew you were coming back, but I was like, but Tiffany, how she learned said that? Pastor. She don't say pastor. She don't say pastor, we got a plan. And then to see you at grand rehearsal, you sit and singing and I mean, it goes to show not your dedication for swimming, but like if you God in general, because I mean you had to learn the songs overseas, you had to probably talk to Tiffany and try to navigate. So like how you navigated that? I mean, like swimming for you is one thing. Yeah. But I was like, how you got you to do that with Power VBS?
Honestly, that one I still don't know how I told her I was gonna do it. That part is still a blur because, like, of course, you know, my family is a very music-oriented family. You know, and I always grew up around music. I know I love music and stuff, but I was never one to be like. I was always, you know, like very reserved. I don't want to sing. I don't want anybody to know how to sing, and it was always like one of those like situations. And I remember the first time I actually it was Julissa. I don't know how they got me to do that, but after that, I was so nervous. I was like, never again. I can't on stage. And I told myself, so never again. I told myself, I'm not singing on stage. They'll ask me, I don't want to sing. And then I remember I was talking to Tiffany about, you know, just like, I was like, oh yeah, like, I ain't singing solo, yeah. Like, just like in general. She's like, Daniel, you think that God gave you that voice to just for fun? I was like, I don't know, maybe. And she was just talking to me. She's like, you know, like you have that talent that you can be able to minister to people, you know, and you can't just waste it like that because God could have given that to anybody else, you know. And then you know, got like a little bit guilty, and I'm like, you're right, you know. And then like I remember she was telling me about VBS and because I used to start doing practices with her, of course, you see.
Yeah.
You know, like of course I love to sing and I was like, no, this is not it won't be bad, like I'm fun, like I don't like get on stage and I was just like so like scared. I don't know, I was very scared about like people seeing that, you know, because like instrument, like it's different. I need water, like I don't know nobody look at me. I know people are watching, but like I don't, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like very different. But like to put myself on it was like it was so scary for me. And I was like, I don't got it in me to do it, you know? Yeah. And then I don't know, like it just kept playing on my mind. I was like, you know, you should do this, you should do this. And then I was like, she kept asking my team, you know, like we need volunteers, like we need people to come and do it. You know, we don't really have that much people as yet. People come over and stuff. And then I was like, Tiffany, I think I can sing. She's like, perfect. She's like, so like I told her she sent me all these songs, so I would listen over them, just listen over in a loop. She helped me out. I would not Zoom in, but like,
Yeah.
all in, and I would be there at party practices and hearing and everything, and they were sending videos of like certain parts and stuff.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, well, this is really happening,
Happening, yeah.
And I guess like as the time got closer, I was like, oh my gosh, like why did I sign up?
Sign up for this.
But I think I think that I need to. I think it's kind of good for me. I think it's gonna help like trying to minister to other people, but I think it's gonna minister to me too.
Yeah, trust me, it's going to.
So I think that it was one of those things that I needed. So we see tomorrow how it
But
awful.
you can do good, man. I honestly speaking, I was glad when I started naming because I was like, it goes to show once again that your love for God. Like swimming is good, and as you said, you is who you've been for a long time. But to see, as Tiffany said, like his other gifts, and God will use it for his honest, for his glory. Even though to see your dedication to her as well, because you call him, you weren't there. I was like, Tiffany, hold on, we're getting through this. She's like, Pastor, don't worry, she's getting through. But she had confidence enough in you to know that if you put your mind to something, that you don't get it done. So I'm looking forward to see you. Then, as you said, it's one thing to swim, but to see like 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds, you can see tomorrow, man. Like you know the working God, and because of it, is a pretty cool, feeling. It's a pretty cool feeling. No, you're gonna be okay. You can trust me.
Yeah.
So, Danny, as you wrap up, I know this is a pretty loaded question that as we bring it to a close, but as you said, you navigating through life, and figuring out who you are. What you think your next step will be? You just want to finish school, or to grow more in God. What would you say is next that you want to find out for yourself, not your journey with swimming, but just with God and Christianity in general?
Honestly, I want to see how far he can take me swimming. I think one of those I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I'm very involved in I don't know if you know Sydney McLaughlin.
Yeah. I thought she's big. She don't mix sport with Christianity,
Yeah,
really.
no, and I don't know, just seeing her is so inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm like he's taking her
Yeah,
places,
for
and it's like I feel as though I I I need to be able to trust that he can, and
yeah.
I think with that I really am just looking forward to see how far that takes me, and he takes me and the road which he takes me to, because it's never gonna be anything that I expect.
Yeah.
It's too long that I already know. It's always gonna be something that I'm not looking for, or
Yeah.
it's always something like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what he has next in store, because I'm a little bit nervous, excited, nervous, but I know it's definitely gonna be for the best.
Yeah, that's great. I just said Sydney. She's honestly, when I see her, I'm like this girl don't make sport with God. But I used to have to see. I can see like that. Not you're unashamed of your faith. Like, you listen to you talk, you can tell that you're unashamed of your faith. And that's how she is. And I'm like, I've on every post she got scripture, and like every interview, like she's not afraid to like say, all right, the reason I'm here is because of Jesus. I'm like, this is a testimony, but then God will continue to like elevate her. So as you said, like when you do that, I'm almost surprised if God can elevate you either. Because you seeking Him first. Everything has to be added onto you. So that was brilliant. Daniel, guess what? We finished. It was good talking to you. I mean, it was good. I guess the church would get to know a deeper side of you through this interview. Because I know we always hear about you when we thank Daniel Titus. I know we can't actually hear, but then who was really Daniel Titus? And yet to hear you and hear your heart, and I want to thank you for taking the time, especially on your birthday, big 21, to talk to us, You know, that again, that shows that you love for God and love just to, to be more open. You know, so I really appreciate you coming and talking to us. You know, it was fun. You know, they talking to you, so it was fun. But
Yeah.
is there anything we could pray for you about? You know, as you continue.
I think you just pray that I, keep my eyes on him, and I don't
Mhm.
stress what a circumstance, and that I trust and believe 100% that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I don't need to try to grab onto his steering wheel to try to help him
Yeah.
steer
Yeah.
where I think he should be going.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a big thing for me. So
Well, as you go, I remember your prayer now. Let's pray because I didn't know that you got plans for your birthday. So we thank you for taking time to be us. So let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for Daniel. Thank God for her life, God, that she has opened up our God and let people know who she is, God. I pray, God, that it's been a pleasure getting to know her. And for the wider body and community of church get to know her. God, I pray that we will continue to lift her up, God. As we see, Lord God, it's not always easy, but God, that she believes, Lord God, you've called her for a purpose, called her for a plan, and she will continue to navigate life. God, that we would lift her up, and God, help her to remember that she can lean and rely upon you all the time. God, it's not always going to be easy, but I pray, God, that even as she said, in good times and bad times, you are good. As she would continue to navigate life, God, be with her. God, be her, be your source. God, be your strength. God, you be her rock. I know it's not always easy being away from home. As you said earlier, yes, to get the yellow accustomed, but you don't fully get accustomed to it, God. But I pray, God, that you would help her to know her family is still supporting her 100%, but that we as a body are supporting her as well. But even more so in those moments, God, when she doesn't necessarily feel it, help her to know you're always there. God, thank God that as a change of scene brought about a change of perspective, continue to keep her, God. She will go back shortly after. Yes, God, be with her, be her. God, cover her as she will go. God, I pray that she will excel. I know she looks at Sidney McLaughlin as inspiration, God, of someone who is an athlete but represents you. I pray that she will able to excel towards those standards, even beyond that. God, that you would open up doors and that you would go beyond even what she can ask or begin even dream about, God. And when she looks back, she will say, "Oh, look what God has done." But that in all that she said, in all the hard work, everything, God, that you are her source, you are her strength, and you are her shield. So God, we bless her and we appreciate God, her life and her family. Touch Neil and Andrew and Tiffany. Continue to touch them, continue to bring them close together. Now it's Naeem. Continue to bring them close together, God, and continue to walk hand in hand. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen. So, Danny, thank you so much for joining us. No, that's no problem at all. And before we go, just one announcement. Vacation Bible School starts tomorrow, and Danielle will be there singing in the new gift. So, you can see it's gonna be a great time. It is for the 16th. I ask you to keep the best in your prayers. There's still time registered. You got to midnight. So if remember the link is in our Facebook page. On Instagram. You want to have that link. Feel free to sign in. There's still time, a few more hours. We'd love to have you. It is 4 to 16. For those who signed already and you may be watching, the colors for tomorrow is pink or red. Tuesday is yellow or black. Wednesday is green or purple. Thursday is white. And Friday is blue or orange. So encourage you to keep best in prayer. It's still Youth Month. To keep us in prayer as we will continue to go about our time here at the People's Cathedral. So that's it for now. Have a great evening. Danny, thank you so much for joining us once again. I hope you have a fantastic evening to your birthday. And it's good. I remember, and we talked before the vibes and the food, so we will talk. We'll talk tomorrow. I know how it went. So have a good evening, everyone. God bless you. I will see you on Wednesday for In the Word Bible study. God bless.